It happened again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right? Like the higher he takes the can, he just disappears into the background. It's like, oh, that's why. That's what it is.
What? I don't know how to. Okay, whatever.
That's why I asked you if you were drinking soda or beer, because it'd be kind of funny if you were drinking beer and if that were to happen, you would like, oh, I'm getting drunk. Oh. For everybody out there, you haven't seen our faces in a while. We've been MIA because, well, baseball hasn't been around. Now that baseball is back, you see the lovely faces on the screen. You see, obviously, the Reds background with our guy Storms. You see the merchandise on a Kyle with the Boston. And what's going on, Ty? You're the only one missing, man. Where's your gear at, bro? What's going on?
I got rained on yesterday, so one of my Dodgers hoodies is still wet. But if you give me 5 seconds, I'll go and grab the other one.
He's grabbing the Suns right now. That's what he's doing.
So, as I said, merchandise is on. You guys know the best time of year, baseball season about to kick off. The stadium, the green grass, the first game, opening day, nothing like it. The smell, or when you walk in through the stands and you see the field, the shock, the wow factor, it's amazing. We're back preseason. Wow. I was because I'm watching a lot of NBA, I was about to say preseason. Spring training is going on. We're here to talk about it. You guys already know. Kyle, what's up? Say hi to the people.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, baseball's back. Everyone's in the stadiums. I wonder what the Vegas odds are on over-unders on how many hot dogs gets eaten this year in major league ballparks. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting. I'm gonna look that up.
That would be a good bet. And you know what? Whatever it is, I say it's definitely not enough.
If I had to take like a stab in the dark, I would say 100 million.
Dang, that sounds like a lot.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna look it up while we're going.
You know what though? Think about it though. Like the highest drawing teams in the league pull in about 3 million fans every year.
True.
And there's 30 teams, and obviously not everybody's pulling in 3 million, but so 100 million may be a little bit high, but so 80 million.
That may also be a little low because there's them people.
I say go higher.
Yeah, because there's them people that I don't know if you've seen, but they do weird stuff like have the beer, dunk the hot dog, and then eat it. And once they get completely drunk, they eat like 4 or 5. So that's probably a low number, Storms. Ty, you're a food critic. Say hi to the people and let them know what you think about that number.
First off, I'm going to probably take half of that 100 million myself. So I'm going to eat 50 million hot dogs myself.
Hey, it's got to be that Sonora dog, though.
All right. Put me down for 130 then.
Storms, I've seen you eat now that you've tasted the valley. So you could kick in, a million yourself. So
I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
But as the Guru said, spring training is in full effect. I mean, people are here in the valley yet again. I mean, first it was the Super Bowl. Now we have spring training. So don't try to get a hotel in here. Traffic is bad. I'm not too far away from the Mariners and Angels where they're playing right now at the Peoria Sports Complex, and people are there. So I'm looking forward to the WBC. Wish you guys were out here with me, but I will make an appearance in baseball as far as opening days, not too far away. So I'm excited. And let's play ball. Let's talk some talk. I mean, we got some, Vegas, gambling odds, to think about. And maybe I want to make some money this season. I think I'm here to play this season.
Let's make some money this season off of some baseball bets. Storms, I keep you last for the introduction. You're the best for last. How you doing, buddy? Say hi to the people.
Oh, you know me. I'm just happy to be here.
Let's get it going. Let's roll. We got new rules changed for the 2023 season. We've seen them in full effect in spring training. A couple of things that we didn't really like, a couple of things that we didn't know how we were going to feel, but now we got a little bit of or how we're going to think about it. Now we got the feel of it. So I want to get you guys' opinion on the rule changes and what you think. First and foremost, let's talk about the base. The bases, how much wider they've gotten, bigger they've gotten, and what you guys have seen. Any difference? Any indifference? Do you care? Do you not care yet? Have you seen any difference? Ty, I'm gonna kick it to you first, buddy. Go ahead, bro.
So on Wednesdays, I joined an adult kickball league, and our bases are not that big, and we have two bases at first base, just so that we don't run into each other and kill each other. So the base thing, I mean, really, is that necessary? But it seems to not bother the players too much. It's just an eyesore, if you ask me. Looks like a UFO out there, but. As far as impacting the game, as far as shifts and pitch timing, I think we're going to see a lot of runs. But I mean, this is only as far as not the real show. It's a pre-show. So I don't know if this will stick. Once we get to opening day, if we're going to see every team scoring double-digit runs, every game. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyle, what you got, bro?
Like Ty said, I think we're going to see a lot of runs. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to the more casual fans that watch every now and again, usually in the postseason. I don't think it's going to make too much of a big deal. I don't think it's going to make or break runs, close calls throughout the season, because I think it's just going to be so high scoring with the elimination of the shift that it's going to be a non-factor almost. I'm interested to see. There wasn't a whole lot. I mean, usually what they do is like when they make bases bigger, it's for safety reasons. There was never a whole lot of safety issues in the MLB, especially when it comes to like running down first baseline and colliding. There have been a few, but you usually see that in like Little League, like your Babe Ruth or your Legion ball and that type of stuff. That's where you usually see those collisions. You don't really see it in MLB because they know that they are a product and they're not really hustling down the line. Most of them, they're just there, right? So I think it'll be almost a non-factor. I think they made them bigger just to encourage maybe a little bit more stealing or whatever. But I don't really think it's going to be that much of a factor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the collisions have happened very few and far between. Storms, before I kick it over to you, I think, like you said, you see them more in let's say double, triple A, or even the push leagues, like you said, because the footwork generally isn't there, and that's something that probably the bases are going to handle. I don't know, but I think where the bases is going to come into play is where the third baseman, the shortstop, throws it into the line, and the runner can kind of adjust to that and hit the edge of the bag instead of the smaller base. That may help them, but other than that, I'm with you guys. I mean, you may see some more stolen bases because the bag is bigger and you can go to the outside of the bag, but we'll see. Storms, what you think, bro?
I honestly could not care less. I mean, some of the pushback I've seen is like, well, there's so many bang bang plays, and it's going to take away from that. They're all going to be safe. Yeah, there's just as many guys that are just barely safe from the throw, and now those are going to be your bang bang plays. So, it doesn't really change anything, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bases being a little bigger is not really a big thing for us here at the Dish. I mean, there's bigger fish to fry in baseball, and the bases getting a little bigger isn't really here nor there to us. It doesn't really matter. So let's move on to the other one that we've seen already with Machado, with players stepping out the box, bases loaded, and a player being called out in Atlanta in a tied game, the ninth, the pitch clock. I think this is going to be one of my favorite rules because first, the pitcher, you can go faster. The hitter doesn't have to be outside like Nomar Garcia Paradis in the gloves and the back, after 40 seconds outside. I think that's going to be awesome. Storms, I'm going to kick it over to you first. Give your opinion on this, man.
Yeah, man, Nomar would have to retire if he was still playing. I don't know, man. I personally felt like it was, I'm coming around from being one of those leave my game alone types. I kind of was in the beginning. I don't personally love the pitch clock. However, the fact of the matter is the younger generation isn't interested in baseball because it's too slow.
Mm-hmm.
My son just turned 11, and I tried to get him to sit down and watch a baseball game with me last season when his team, the Pirates, were playing the Reds, and he said, it's too boring. And when I told him that they were putting a pitch clock in and it was going to accelerate the game, the kid who won't sit and watch an inning with me on TV agreed to go and see a Reds game in Pittsburgh with me. So, these spring training games are already so much faster. What is really cool about this is, you see 10, 20 games a year where one team scores 20 or more runs. Those games are still going to take 3 hours or less. That's cool.
So before you finish your thing, Stones, if you want to continue, we got James that commented. He says, I think the bigger bases and pitch clock is stupid. They changed the rule for people who don't even watch baseball. What do you think is stupid about the bigger bases? And then what do you think is stupid about the pitch clock? Storms, you want to add anything more than what you were saying to that?
Yeah, man. As far as like the violations and stuff, like any new rule, there's going to be an adjustment period. I really don't think that it's going to be an issue like that come, you may even see a few violations per game in the beginning of the season, but come June, July, I think everybody's going to pretty much have it down. So
let's hope that what happens, what Machado says, continues to happen. He continues every count 0-1. That'll be fantastic. No balls in one strike. That'll be great. What you got, Ka? What do you got to add to this, man?
We're already starting to see the effects of it in spring training, and I think what was an average game last year was like 3 hours and 10 minutes, and now it's significantly chopped down to 2:30. Mm-hmm. So you shaved off about a little more than 30 minutes off your game. Now, for the casual fan, does that? They'll sit down and watch a game because now it's shorter. Like as an adult, Storms, I understand like your son and his aspect of it, but like as an adult, if I'm already not watching the games, I'm probably not watching the games. You know what I mean? Just like they can make a million changes to basketball, I'm probably still never going to watch it because I can't get into it. But if they made changes in hockey, that's something I'd be, we'd have to be having a conversation like we are now. One of my favorite things, and I know you guys all seen it, we put it in the chat, Gary Sheffield tweeted, I love that Major League Baseball asked people who don't watch Major League Baseball what would it take for them to watch. They said the addition of a game clock. Then those same people will watch Netflix all year. New leadership, please. It's kind of funny, but it's true. Mm-hmm. You asked a bunch of people that don't watch, and this is what we get. Maybe it'll work, but I think, like you said, everyone is they'll have it all down, like you said, by July. Everyone will figure it out, and it'll just be. You'll see some here and there, but I would hate to see a game decided season because of a pitch clock.
Yeah.
I agree.
Bases loaded in the World Series, you're just going to end the game because of a pitch clock like that. Come on.
Well, so to that point, I think that the pitch clock should absolutely go away as soon as the playoffs start.
I agree.
And the other thing too, as far as like I understand the whole idea behind why would we ask people who don't watch the game how to improve the game? They're trying to improve the game because the viewership is dying. Attendance is up. Attendance isn't a problem, but viewership is dying, and that's where the real money comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is a big deal, and that's why you'd ask people that don't watch the game, what would it take for them to watch the game?
So we got a couple of things here in the chat, fellas. I want to ask you guys 2 questions. Ivan, welcome, Ivan. I haven't seen you comment in here before. He says, "What player or position player do the Padres need to get a stable roster and win the World Series?" You guys already have that player on the roster, Fernando Tatis. That's the missing link. We've seen that last year. Fernando Tatis, needs to be healthy, stop doing stupid stuff, or do what the Padres need him to do so you guys can bring a World Series. You guys have the roster. You guys have the team. It's now or Tatis is gone. That's in my opinion. What do you guys got to say about that?
I'll chime here on this one. First and foremost, and this is kind of a joke too. I just hope the Dodgers just choke. To be honest, no, but I mean, coming off a great season where you surprised everybody, not letting the pressure get to you to have success again. I think you guys have, a great squad. It's not so much as getting over the hump; it's just staying the course and not having a hangover from the previous season. Trust that everyone's going to come prepared and focused. Stay together. Don't let the media rattle you. Play your game, and that's all you need to do for a club. So you're in a good position, and I won't say there's not a missing piece to address. You have the talent. It's just chemistry, the intangibles that are important to championship success.
So before I ask the question to Kyle and Storms, Kyle, do you guys agree we can make this nice and short?
I do.
Yeah.
They don't need a damn thing.
I think they have everything in there, and I think with the addition of Xander Bogaerts, it should help their roster significantly.
Okay, there you go. And now we got also James saying, "What's the point of the bigger base? It's been okay the entire life. It's an art. Take the time to practice and learn the skill." And he also says baseball is so mental, every second counts. The people who really like the game, it's all mental and every second counts. They were not going to stop. Those people who don't watch still won't watch. That's true.
Safety was the main reason, so to speak. Safety, player safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing with the safety deal is how do at the major league level, how do most collisions at first base happen? It's the pitcher covering, and he gets there at the same time as the runner.
As a runner.
Yeah,
Right.
and I know it's only 3 inches, but that just gives that little extra margin of space, and because it's these. Yeah, it just gives a little bit better chance for them to avoid a collision, and because you see 1 or 2 guys at least hurt on plays like that every year.
So you think about it this way: the base change or the bases being wider and bigger is to save the players, to save collisions, to save exactly what Storms was saying when the pitcher
Save
was
those
at first
ankles.
base. Exactly.
Save the hands.
And you can do the little toe tap on the edge, whatever you want to do to get to the base. The same exact rule they applied for the for the catcher, not blocking home plate. Given the way given the lane to the runner until the ball gets there and he's able to block home plate. It's the same exact thing, except they're doing it with the player, they're doing it with the base.
And they're also flatter, which is going to help avoid rolled ankles.
Yep. So, Ty, I didn't get to you. What do you think about this? The pitch clock, man. What have you been seeing?
I think the learning curve is going to impact. Things are going to be kind of weird in the season. I'm not worried about it. I think we'll be fine. But postseason is where I'm worried because that's where the drama is. That's where you kind of have the moment to watch a game, or if you're at the stadium, talk it out and kind of anticipate the energy, the moment. But I don't think it will be too significant throughout the season, outside of like just people getting used to things. And of course, anything new, you're going to notice it right off the bat as far as, oh, it's not working. I think you're going to hear some of that, but then by probably All-Star break, no one's going to even remember that this happened. Postseason though, like I said, postseason may be different. And then for those who help out with eating over 100 million hot dogs, just get your concessions fast so you don't miss a thing.
Yeah, man, you go to get a hot dog now, you're liable to miss 3 innings.
Yeah, you are.
But that's interesting. Like when I go to the WBC or catch some D-backs games, if it feels different, I'll speak to that. But by all accounts, as far as how many games have been tested in AAA and the minors, the fans aren't feeling it too much. And actually, they feel that some people are saying that for the pitchers, kind of makes things better as far as makes you sharper, more focused. That cat and mouse game is still there sometimes, and maybe even improve significantly, which is part of baseball.
I think it's yes and no. So I think you're on the right path too. I think it could help with all that stuff. But you still got to think too, when Major League Baseball kicks off, where do they make most of their money? It's on commercials. The game is still going to be long.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to have their designated commercial time in between every single inning. And just because we saved a couple minutes in an inning doesn't mean we're not going to use those minutes in advertisement. That's just me being all tinfoily about it. But I don't know. I think I would like to see it increase the mental part of the game, make people think on their toes, make them think fast. Which I don't really think has to do too much now that we got rid of the shift, because now they're just going to throw it and all they got to do is just swing hard.
Well, and one thing with that strategy was I'm interested to see if it's going to make managers a little more quick on the trigger to pull a reliever, because he's not going to have as much time to get his head right in between pitches.
That's what I wanted to get to. And James James just said in the chat, I'm an A's fan. It won't matter for us.
I'm going to say this.
Bring him on the show.
Brother-in-law.
Bring him on the show.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for James. James, anytime the A's play the Houston Astros, I'm betting on the A's, dude. We've talked about it a million times. We're going to do it, bro. Because last year, the Astros screwed us so many times we placed bets on them. We're betting on the A's this year, all year against Houston.
James, I swear to God, I'm going to put a $500 bet on the A's against Houston because I am going to win money. Last year, I've lost so much money betting on Houston playing the A's. And Kyle knows this. Every single time I put money on Houston, I lost.
Every single time.
Every single time. So I'm definitely making that bet this year. So, like I was saying,
James, I'm gonna tell you right now, brother. If you want to keep your team, you need to get you and 10,000 of your closest friends and go to one game every week.
So, Storms, what you said about the pitcher, the coming on the bullpen, the reliever, I think this is the part of the rule that's going to mess up the relievers or the bullpen when they come in. Because
rhythm.
Yes, that, and also the step off. Because they only have 2 times to step off, and the third time is a balk. Or the
third time is a balk if the runner on base is not called out.
Yes. So, and it's for a bullpen pitcher to come in, and whether it's in the middle of an inning or the beginning of an inning, of a tied game, that particular rule, I think is just gonna bother so many relievers. Seeing that clock, not knowing what pitch to select, it's just so much going on in your head coming into a game. Imagine the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th inning. You don't know what pitch to throw, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta make up my mind. And you're looking at the clock. I think this rule is gonna affect the bullpen more than any other person.
I can't remember who it was, but there's a pitcher that already said he's found himself 2 or 3 times in that situation where he's like out of time, so he just threw a fastball.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that's the part of the rule that's going to mess up a lot of bullpen and a lot of relievers, because a lot of relievers, work slow. The reason being is they want to slow down the game. They want to pace it they want to put it at their pace. Now, the batter kind of knows, hey, he has to throw a pitch.
And you know what? We also know very well that every rule in Major League Baseball, teams are going to find their way to whether if they're not getting around the rule, they're going to find. Catchers are going to take their time getting the ball back to the pitcher. Pitchers may come out off the mound to catch them because the clock doesn't start until the pitcher has the ball in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be ways to milk them for extra seconds. You're not going to be able to take a ton of extra time, but.
Yep. So, yeah, that's basically the pitch clock, man. We've seen stuff happen, and also the game, like they were saying, I've seen a game. It was the Mets and Cardinals that they scored 19 runs, and it was a 2 hour and 40-minute game. When have we seen a 19-run game in 2 hours and 40 minutes? That would have easily been a 4-hour game, easy. So I think an hour 15 cut. For people that don't watch a game and don't want to watch a game that takes so long, I think this particular rule may work in the MLB's favor because it's speeding up the game. But it may also ruin some careers like Greinke. Did you guys see that overlay where he threw 2 pitches and they showed the whole derby in the background? That was funny. He only threw 2 pitches in a matter of like 5 minutes. And they had an overlay of the Kentucky Derby. It was hilarious. You guys got to watch it if you guys haven't seen it. So let's get to the third rule, the rule which they've had since basically Corona, the gross rule. It is now here to stay. We didn't really like the rule at first. Then we kind of got used to it. And now it's here to stay. They thought they were going to get rid of it. What do you guys feel about it? Storms, I'll kick it over to you first.
I don't really care at this point. It's been part of the game.
So it's like,
it's like it's not making the game any worse. It was already there.
Yeah, this ties into the pitch clock. They want to speed up the game,
Yeah.
But I think, I'll get to it when I.
Actually, one more thing before we keep going, because you were talking about that 19-run game is usually 4 hours. Something I heard the other day about this. think about movies. You talk about the casual fan won't tune in even though the game's faster. Think about people going to movies. There's a lot of people that won't go to see a movie if it's 3 hours long. But if you tell them it's 2.5 hours, like, okay, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, good point. Also,
I haven't seen a movie, and I shit you not, in like 15 years. Because I can't get over the fact that it's over 2 hours long.
See?
Exactly.
See, so
point.
Someone who feels the same way about baseball might tune in now.
Exactly to your point.
I fell asleep during Pirates, dude. Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one. Couldn't, like 10 minutes. Out cold.
So, also to your point, Storms, another thing I heard is people, before I head to you, Ty, people complaining about there being less baseball. No, you're seeing the same amount of baseball. What you're not seeing is the dead points in between the pitcher throwing to the catcher, and it takes 10 minutes to throw one pitch. That's what you're not seeing. So that's why the game is shorter. You're seeing the same amount of baseball. It's still 9 innings. It's not changing anything. It's just
7 outs.
no more, standing around and stuff. But Ty, what you got?
Yes, it was brought in the COVID year. It's here to stay permanent. We're fine. It's just a season. It doesn't impact the postseason, right? So, I mean, I think it actually adds to the drama a little bit more in the intensity. But when you think about it, we get excited for extra baseball, but then when we have too much extra baseball, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
When the inning is way too long and you're there and you're like, this is the game that never ends. I mean, for the casual fan, you're just like, click. Or some of you guys who are at the stadium will even head to the parking lot, and if you do, shame on you. You shouldn't have bought a ticket.
What you got, Kyle?
It is what it is. I think, like Ty said, it adds to the drama. It adds to the suspense. Look at teams like specifically the Minnesota Twins last year. They won from behind a lot last year, although they didn't do well in their division. But with as many times as they won coming from behind, you would have thought they were going to win their division. So it adds to the drama, adds to suspense. So it adds a little extra layer for the casual fans, the NPCs. But it is what it is. It's here to stay. It's not that terrible of a rule, I guess. I mean, it's fun, I guess. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so we talked about this when I was introducing the COVID year. I would like them do a hybrid of this. Give them a 10th inning, a normal 10th inning, and then go to the ghost runner in the 11th. At least give, one extra inning to where it's normal, and then go to the ghost runner. I'm good with that. But
you know why I kind of just accept it is because like the biggest complaint to it is like you're giving them an easy run, right? Well, I mean, if you think about it, at the end of the year, if you go and look at the teams in the playoffs, mostly it's the teams that hit best with runners in scoring position. So most of the time, that's the team that's going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah. To going back to the pitch clock with this ghost runner, it's going to be interesting with a reliever now, seeing if there's somebody that's going to balk in a run because of what they do on the mound. I'm interested to see that. We're probably going to see that a couple of times this year. If a reliever can't decide on the pitch and decides to step off or whatnot.
You know what I'm excited to see. I can't wait for the first time that we see a pitcher take his 2 disengagements, knowing full well that this guy's going to go right, and then get him on a pitch out, because the runner's like he can't step off again, because if he doesn't get me out, I get second. So runner's going to get a bigger jump on the pitch. I don't know. I'm just like, it's cool. It adds a little more strategy to it. Like it takes away from some of it too with the cat and mouse and all that, and, but again, it goes with speeding up the game. You can't throw over 16 times in a row.
Make base running great again.
Yes.
There you go. Now let's talk about, hey, fuck it. I'm going to say it because we all think it. The Joey Gallo rule.
I knew it.
It is what it is. It's the fucking Joey Gallo rule because he was crying about it. He was the
it's the Joey fucking Gallo rule.
Yeah, there you go. The Joey fucking Gallo rule. The non-shifting, because he's gonna hit probably 320 now, and he's gonna drive in like.
Oh, you gave him too much.
He's gonna hit 236 and claim victory.
250. I'll give him 250.
If you're reading the comments, James and I were just talking about it. He's like, whatever happened to hitting it, whether they're not standing. And I said, backside hitting is a thing in the past, unfortunately. And I said, Joey Gallo is going to hit 270 this year because of it.
I give him 250.
I'm not even giving him that. He's hit a whopping 183 since 2019.
Yeah. Joey Gallo is a savior.
Well, yeah, the shift occurred when that happened, and now it's not. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
well, before that, he wasn't hitting much better.
But yeah, the non-shifting. No player on the opposite of second base can. Well, the no shortstop can go to the opposite of second base and take away the base hit. So, Kyle, started with you since you love Joey Gallo so much. Talk about it, buddy.
I think Joey Gallo is still going to have 187 strikeouts this year, so it's not really going to matter too much of where they fucking play players. I think not having the shift's going to help, but I think they're just going to do some rec league softball stuff, and we've talked about this before. Well, they'll just have the center and right fielder shift over, and the left fielder will cover the gap. I think we're going to see something of that. We'll see how that plays out as the fifth man. But I think they're just going to find a way around it. If there's a rule, they're going to exploit it or find a loophole, just like Storm said earlier. And I think 270, I think that's still giving Joey Gallo a little too much credit. I think he still probably hits like 200, if that, 210. But I think it's going to help some of the guys, but there's going to be guys, I think they're going to take a lot of value in players that can hit across the field now. You're just going to have to. The Yankees found that out a long time ago, that you can't just win on home runs and have 3 or 4 players where their specialty is just pull the ball. You have to have guys that can get on base. You have to have guys that know how to run bases. And then you have to have a guy or 2 guys that it's all or nothing with them. It's either feast, famine, home run, or nothing. And I think people are starting to realize that. And that goes in hand with trying to get more viewers. More runs that are being scored in a shorter time gets more viewers, according to the MLB. So good for the fan aspect. And some ball players are going to struggle this year, and I think we're going to see that.
Mm-hmm. Ty, what you got?
I'll say this. If you're will it change the way scouting is done for infielders? Maybe, potentially. But if you are someone who likes highlights and feels like you're very athletic when it comes to the sport, and you like to have web gyms, and you want to make Sports Center, this rule could potentially be for you. Because not only is it designed for offense, it's also designed to showcase special elite defense, well, athletic defense, not the right kind of defense. I mean, because when you think about it, you have to have a glove, right? But if you can cover a lot of ground, or you can stretch out, or basically be a freak of nature with a great arm and a cannon, you can make a lot of money with this rule change, and that's endorsements, not just your salary. So will that change as far as opening up like the market for those type of players who may not have the best bats but can be used for their elite defense? There's a market for you now. And that's part of it I don't think anyone's paying attention to. So maybe this could change how people scout and add those pieces to their teams to be successful and win.
It's also going to change how second basemen get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ty, to kind of talk about what you just said about elite defense. I've been watching a lot of video, and I've been watching a lot of reports, and they said that Kiki Hernandez is playing a lot better for shortstop than Xander Bogaerts did. And that's because he's more athletic at that position. So that's going to be very interesting to see throughout the year. And like what Storm said, how second basemen get paid, how they get paid, because now you have a bigger gap to play. So you actually have to play second base. You're not playing that short right field just to make that catch.
Yeah. Oh, if Brandon Phillips was 27 years old, he'd suddenly be a $30 million a year player right now.
Good. Yeah. Good call. So you're telling me second basemen aren't playing right shallow field no more. They're not.
No, but I, you know what I think would be absolutely hilarious is if the left fielder played shallow right every time Gallo came up to bat still.
That would be great. Put the center fielder there and then put left field in center field. That would be fantastic. Oh man. But go ahead, Storms. What you got to say, bro?
It is what it is. It's not. We're not going to see no shift at all, because we're going to see plenty of the shortstop playing almost dead up the middle. You just have to be on the left-hand side of second base.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm with James. I still when I was growing up, when I was learning how to hit the ball, the whole idea was hit it where they ain't.
Yep.
And I'm a right-handed hitter. Nobody shifted on me, but that's the basic premise of hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So
I almost exclusively hit to right field.
Yep.
When I played baseball, I was a right-handed hitter. I exclusively almost hit right field every time
Pretty much.
because I know that they were always going to give me the line because I was a right-handed hitter.
mhm.
Yeah. This is one of the rules, and I've said this before. I fucking hate this. I hate it. And I think we can all agree to this, to where, like, what's the point of playing baseball if you're not able to use the whole field? You know what I mean? Like, if you're just hitting into one side of the field, you're pretty predictable hitter. You should be punished for that, meaning base hits should be taken away from you. Learn to hit it to the other side. That's why we've had all-time great hitters, Tony Gwynn, Votto now, to where they can hit it anywhere. You know, you have a whole diamond, a whole field to where you can hit it at. And you're telling me that you're basically congratulating somebody because they can only hit it to one side of the field by not allowing them to play the defense to stop it. I know that you want more runs scored, you want the game to be faster, but this is one of the rules that is completely, they shouldn't have done it. It shouldn't have been done. Just learn how to hit.
It's because they want the game to be faster, but they also want more offense.
Of course. Yeah. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And we talked about it before. Every sport has done something like this, to where offenses become a priority. And this is baseball's way of doing it. And
Full disclaimer, I have to throw this out there. Joey Gallo, please don't come after us and sue us. But if you win a Silver Slugger award because of this, I am voting against you. I will write letters, take it away.
I will write my congressman.
I will do it. You don't deserve it.
You deserve nothing in this life.
Not that far. I would say he deserves
It's
nothing.
a joke.
man,
He deserves nothing in baseball.
damn.
Maybe
Baseball
James
is
will
life.
take-
That's what I meant.
Hey, maybe James will take him over on the A's, man.
No, you know what? My karma is in 2024. He's going to be a Cincinnati Red.
Oh man.
And he's gonna replace Joey Votto.
And like I said, only Silver Slugger. He can be an all-star, keep the gold gloves, have at it. You get a Silver Slugger, I have a problem. I am offended with a capital O.
I've been violated.
Let's get to Vegas. Let's talk about the odds now, man. We're gonna run down all the entire league basically, and give the over-unders wins, and we're just gonna say under, over, and give me a quick reason why. Don't spend too much time on it. Give me like 30 seconds. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna start out on the NL side. One of the divisions where it has two strong teams. The other three, not so much. The NL West. Let's start from the bottom up. Colorado, 65.5 Storms. What do you think?
That's actually kind of a tough one. Damn. Give me over just because I don't want to be a dick.
All right.
I don't know. I Colorado feels like a team that would be flirting with 100. So, yeah. Let me just take the under, I guess.
The under. All right. Kyle, I'll throw it to you first.
I'm gonna say under. I think Colorado will end up being sellers at the All-Star before the All-Star break. I think they get rid of Cron. I think they find a way to move Chris Bryant. I think their season's in the shitter by week 3 of the season, and 65 and under. It's gonna be an under for me.
Ty, what do you say, bro?
Rockies fans, if that happens and you need a place to vent, like as a Reds fan, we went through this last year. My inbox is open.
I know some really good support agents.
We can console each other because that shit still hurts.
Kyle, Storm said you have a shoulder to cry on. What you say, Ty? What do you got?
Real quick, to quote the great Jack Jenkins of Harlem Nights, don't take this ass whooping personally. I'll give you the under, no hesitation. I'm sorry, Colorado. You are a wonderful state, just not for baseball.
I agree with my guys. 65 is kind of high. I would have even said 60 is probably kind of high. I don't think they probably even hit 60. And Kyle, I wouldn't be surprised if they sell the stadium before the season's over. So
we're so wrong for this.
They got to give away free weed at the stadium for people to show up this year because it's going to be bad.
Wow, we are so wrong for this. I'm sorry, Rockies.
It's like come get your weed and L's at Rocky Stadium.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
We rolled the first 10,000 guests.
Oh man. Let's move on to Arizona. They're at 74.5. Let's start it with you, Kyle. What you think, bro?
Unfortunately, I'm going to say under, but just barely under. I think they're going to have a lot of flashes of good, young talent. I think Zach Galen's going to be phenomenal this year. It's just not in that division. It's not going to be enough. And then they have to play all the other teams too. And I just can't see it. Under, but not by that much.
Storms, I'll kick it to you.
I'm going to take the over. But also not by much. I think they're probably they're going to be under 500, probably somewhere around 77, 78.
I will go with Kyle on this one, and I'll say the under respectfully. So it will be respectfully under.
With no disrespect.
No disrespect.
Colorado got shit on, man.
I'm actually gonna take the over, and I think the over. I think they're probably going to hit 80, to be honest. And I think they're probably going to finish in third place because of the pitcher you have stated, Kyle, having a monster year and being in the running for Cy Young. I really think he's going to get paid, or the Diamondbacks are going to do what the Diamondbacks do, have a great year and trade him. So
don't forget Ketel.
Say that again.
I said, don't forget Ketel.
Yep, him too. So let's move on to the third place team that they have on here. San Francisco, 81.5, the Giants. Storms, I started with you. What you think? Yeah, under. but how many games? Just under or what?
75.
Okay.
75 wins.
Okay. Oof. So you got to finish in fourth in division or third. Oh, you do? Okay. Ty, what you got?
I'll take the over contingent on how the Diamondbacks play them. The Diamondbacks are the factor on my over.
Hedging your bets, huh?
Over. That's the over disrespectfully since I gave the under respectfully.
What you got, Kyle?
I think it's going to be over just by a couple games, right? Because they're only 1 or 2 seasons removed from making the playoffs, right? Because a couple years ago they made it with a very young squad. I think they could get pretty close. Losing Rondon hurts, but I think they're going to find somebody else, and I think they win like 83 games, maybe 83 games.
Okay. I got the under. Like I said, I think they're going to finish fourth. Arizona's going to finish over them. And I think they're probably going to end up with right around what they put Arizona, 75 wins. That's what I'm saying. Now let's move on to the top 2 teams. They got San Diego sitting at 93.5. Ty, I'll throw it over to you since they're your nemesis. You knew I was going to do it. So go ahead.
I'll give them the over. I think they're poised to probably win the division. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And I want them for it. Go get 100. Because if you win 100, you're not going to win anything come postseason time. So go do it.
Damn.
Damn.
The
Suffering
disrespect.
from I'm suffering from success and I'm bitter. Happened to me last season.
I know that as a Patriots fan. I feel that.
Kyle, take it away, Kyle. What you think?
I'm gonna take the over as well. San Diego has done a lot of work to get better than what they were last year. Again, it's just gonna really come down to what the Dodgers do this year, and then which Clayton Kershaw shows up this year. But yeah, I'm taking San Diego. Like I said, I think I'm taking the over. I'm sorry. Getting Bogarts hitting over 300 with 25 home runs a year. That's going to be a game changer, especially from the shortstop position.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Storms?
Over. I think they will win 100 games. It's straight up a team without a weakness on paper. We got to see how the season plays out, but yeah, man, it's going to depend a lot on Tatis. I think, especially if Soto struggles a little bit again out of the gate, but yeah, give me the over for sure.
Yeah, I agree with my guys. Their thing is not the division, even though they're probably going to win the division. Their thing is the World Series. They got a taste of it last year, and the run they made before they were stopped by Philadelphia, and then adding Bogarts just taking them to a different level. 100 easy. Like you said, Storms, no real weakness on paper. They got to put it together, obviously. But I think 100 in the division is theirs. Like Ty said, they have the Dodgers. Huh?
I was just going to say that lineup is terrifying.
Yes, it is. And yes, it was last year. Now you're adding Bogarts and Tatis. Even that much more terrifying. They got the Dodgers winning the division. They've been the best team second best team in baseball for a couple of years now. More than a couple of years now. So they have them at 96.5. What do you guys think? Over, under? Storms, I'll throw it back to you.
Under. I would have said probably just under before Gavin Lux went out for the year. I think they're still gonna make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna win about 90, 91 games.
Yeah. Ty, I see you shaking your head. Go ahead.
I'll take the under only because Dave Roberts deflated us, and what he said last year ruined us. So no, but it's hard, doing what you've done as far as winning the division as much as you have. Like, it's hard to, keep doing it. And I think, the Padres are poised. It's their time, and it'll be tough. And it's going to be a tougher division, and a lot of tough teams gunning for them. So I'll take the under.
All right, Kyle, excuse me.
I'm going to take the under. I think it's going to be like 93 games. I don't think it's going to be much. Gavin Lux going down hurts the team. You have an aging Clayton Kershaw. Dustin May last year was hurt. So it's really going to depend on what their pitching does. But for some reason, they draft really well. Their farm's really good. They usually have decent pitching. So they might find another person like Walker Buehler, who was also hurt last year, and see if they can do something as well. But I still think 93 games.
Yeah, I'm on the under. I say 92 about that. Same reason, the pitching. And I think them losing Lux is going to be a bigger hole than anybody thinks. That's going to hurt them. But like I said, this is the Padres division to lose, honestly. And let's throw it over now to the AL West. The AL West is one of those divisions to where we know who sits on top, and we know that who's going to be sitting on top. It's been happening for the last decade or so now. So let's just take it away. Oakland A's, 59.5. What did you guys think, Kyle? I know you love the A's. Is it over under 59.5?
Oh, this is so bad. I'm gonna say the under, man. And there's not a piece that's on that team that tells me they're gonna be over. If they played 165 games against the Houston Astros, I'd take the over.
Name 6 athletics.
Exactly.
And like I'm not even like I'm not even really trying to be funny. It's just
you can't, because they just trade everybody. And they were already a bad team to begin with. So you're trading your only 3 studs, and then you replace them with nobodies and like aging ball players, and you still have a nothing, right? It sucks, man, but I'm gonna take the under. I think it's gonna be like 57, 56 games. It's gonna be bad.
Man, listen, I think if I were to show up in Oakland, I make the Oakland A's. Like
Right.
That's like it's just like that. You'll know.
You wear an Oakland A's jersey walking down the street, they're gonna tell you to try out.
That'll be fantastic. So that means you can name one player, which would be me.
Yeah.
So, what do you got to say, Ty? What do you think?
Obviously, and I'm sorry that I used all my juice to give the Rockies disrespect. I should have saved it for Oakland. But I got nothing except for that you guys will be buried alive.
My brother-in-law has season tickets. I want to see if
Oh my God.
go out and visit. I'm gonna go out and visit. See if we go to a game. They sit close to the A's dugout. I'm gonna yell down and see if I can coach first for an inning.
So wait, does he have season tickets and he gives them away for like charity or something? Because why else would you have season tickets for the Oakland Athletics?
I don't know, maybe price.
I guess.
Does he put like a poster board where he sits so he doesn't have to attend the game? Storm.
No, but I don't know, man. I told him I texted him once a year or two ago when they had their attendance for a Wednesday game was like something stupid, 2,600 people, something like that. And his response was just like, "Oh yeah, nobody goes to Wednesday games. Like that's why you're losing your team."
And nobody goes to Saturday games either. So.
Nobody goes to any games.
Yeah.
You got the over under Storms. What you got?
I'm taking the under. I feel bad doing it, but I actually no, I don't, because I'm right. I feel bad that I'm right. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I say the same. Under. I'd say like 51.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I say like 51. I mean, they're gonna be bad. It's gonna be watching like the bad news bears, honestly.
Ouch.
Let's go to the next team, the Angels, which is interesting. The Angels and actually I'm gonna do a combo here. The Angels and the Texas Rangers are 81.5. Both teams are gonna be tied for third place in the division according to Vegas, which I don't know how the hell they come up with this shit. 81.5 wins. Go ahead and answer both teams. Ty, what do you think? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna get third in division or higher according to you? Would you say over under?
I'm surprised Vegas did that one. Rangers, I'll take the over. Halos, unless the Rally Monkey resurrects, under.
That was quick and sweet. All right, man. Kyle, what you got?
Texas will be over based on pitching alone, and the Marcus Simeon and what's his face? Yeah, Corey Seager pickups from last year. I think they get better, and I think you're going to see a lot of production out of the catcher in the first base position this year as well. And I think that's going to equate to a lot of Texas wins. Not a lot, I'd say like 83. So I take the over. The Angels is going to be very tough. Is Mike Trout going to be healthy? Is Ohtani going to be traded at the deadline? Is Rendon going to play a single inning this year? There's just so many questions that don't have answers. And for that reason, I can't see 81 wins. I'd see, a little bit less than that. So I'm going to have to take the under for the Angels. There's too many questions.
Go ahead, category.
I gotta agree for the same reason. If you could tell me right now that Ohtani, Rendon, and Trout would play a full season together, give me the over all day long.
Mhm.
But that's not going to happen.
No.
Whether, like you said, whether it's Ohtani getting traded or Rendon, getting 3 more serious injuries, or Trout's back isn't the non-issue he said it was, or whatever. So yeah, and as far as the Rangers, I'm taking the over on everything this year with that pitching staff. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Agreed 100% with what you guys said. I don't see how Vegas did that. We've already trusted the Angels 2 years and saying they're going to stay healthy, and it hasn't happened. They're not going to reach 81 wins. It's going to be under. Texas, for the same exact reason you guys said, over. And don't be surprised if Texas finishes second in this division. Seattle Mariners, J-Rod may have a sophomore slump, and that'll push them under. But I say Texas over, for the same reasons. Let's go to the Mariners, 86.5. What do you guys say? Over, under? Storms, you first, bro.
Over. They won 90 games 2 years in a row, and they got better over the offseason. So I don't see any reason to expect they would not win 90 again.
What do you got to say, Ty?
I'm all in on the Mariners. Love their fan base. Love what they're building over there. I want them to win the division. And no, that's not just because I'm petty and hate the Astros. I just believe in them. So give me the Mariners over.
It's alongside the fact that you're petty and hate the Astros.
That is not part of this segment. Erase that, delete it.
What you got, Kyle?
I will also take the over. I think they'll still win about 90 games, if not, 91, 92 games. Unless J-Rod has that slump.
Right.
Or there's another major sustainable injury on the team. But
I'm J-Rod. I'm saying you guys are so negative.
Slump. If J-Rod has that slump, though, now they've got Teoscar's bat to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
So I agree. And with them, it's always been bullpen. Bullpen's awesome. Starting pitching now is good. They have J-Rod over. Like I said, don't be surprised if Texas does take over that, though, just because of the amount of pitching that Texas has. But the Mariners can be good, real good. And J-Rod, we've seen he's an MVP. So he can will that team to over 90 wins easily. Houston Astros, first place, 97.5. I think we're probably going to be all in agreement here. I got the over. They're going to hit 100 wins. They're going to win the division. Just nod your head if you guys agree. I can move on because there's not much to say about the Houston Astros.
Unless there's a major injury, then no, it's still going to be way over.
Yep. All right. There you guys go. Now let's move on to the NL Central. Some disrespect in the NL Central. Disrespect category. They have your team at 65.5, man. Under the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cubs. Disrespect, I think. What do you say?
I don't. Listen, this hurts, but I really don't see it as disrespect. Reds lost 100 games for the second time in their history last year. Now, granted, I don't expect them to start 3-22 again, so that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to take the over, but I don't think we're going to be. I don't think we're going to be that far over. Maybe 70 wins, and that's being a little generous. We'll see how year 2 goes for the young pitching. Hopefully we get a full year of Joey Votto, Tyler Stevenson, Jonathan India. That'll make a big difference right there too. So, we'll just have to see. But I'm gonna take the over, but not way over.
Okay. Go ahead, Kyle. Kyle, sorry.
I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to take the over, and it's not going to be by much. I think their pitching is going to help. I think there's a lot of young guys on the team that are going to put up a lot of surprising numbers. It's going to be over, but not by much.
Go ahead, Ty.
Over by 1 game. There you go.
Take it.
I'm gonna say over by 2. I think they hit 67, 68 about that. And I think they're actually gonna finish 4th in the division. I think Pittsburgh's gonna finish under them. To talk about Pittsburgh now, Pittsburgh is at 67.5. I don't see Pittsburgh winning over that. I say the under. So that's why I picked them finishing 5th in that division. What do you say, Ty?
Unless Andrew McCutchen is in his prime, and even then, I would take the under on this one. I have no respect for Pittsburgh. I think it was disrespectful to Cincy to do that. So Pittsburgh, you get the under, get that disrespect. Take that, take that.
What do you say, Kyle?
I think they're going to take the under with Brian Reynolds and the Pirates not being able to come to a contract conclusion. He already requested a trade. I think he will be gone, and I could even see the Pirates moving on from O'Neal Cruz just as trade bait, just to get him out. And in that same breath, I think the Pirates should sell their team or the ownership.
Storms.
So I don't think Reynolds is going anywhere. I also don't think he'll have a new contract by the end of the season. He's still got 3 years of team control left.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, he probably gets traded in the offseason, but I still don't think that is going to help a whole lot for a team that lost 100 games. And then your biggest addition was Rich fucking Old Man Hill. I'm looking at 100 again.
Yeah.
For the Pirates. So
under. Yeah. They have one of the best young talents of baseball with O'Neal Cruz, but I don't see them winning that over. I don't see it. I don't see any other bright spots in him and Reynolds. So moving on to the Cubs, 76.5. I've said this before. I think the Cubs are going to be the surprise in this division. I think they finish second, and I think I'm going to take the over. I said they'll be surprised if the Cubs come close to about 85, 90 wins, just because of the faces they have now on the team. They have Swanson, they have people that followed afterwards, and they have some pretty strong starting pitching. So I'm going to take the over on them. I'm going to say about 85 wins. They're at 76.5 according to Vegas. Kyle, what you got?
I'm taking the over. I'm taking about 85. Yeah, I would actually be comfortable with 84. I think they're going to take 84 wins this year.
Ty?
I'll take the over. I'd hate that if they rush Suzuki back, that'll mess it up, but I'll take the over. Make sure he's healthy, ease him back into it.
Storms?
I'm going to take the over as well. I don't think they're going to get 85, but I'd be comfortable calling them an 80 win or a 500 team.
So for me, this is the toughest team to gauge here in the division. Milwaukee at 86.5. For me, that's right around where they're gonna be. So it's kind of hard to say over under. I'm gonna go push. That's what I'm gonna say with this, because I have no idea. Storms, what do you think about this, man? Brewers.
Give me just under. They still have not addressed the giant mistake of getting rid of Josh Hader. And that, I mean, literally, I think for me makes a 3 or 4 game difference.
All right. Ty?
I mean, I'm going to take the easy way out based on like what happened leaving last season. I'll take the push. You just don't know. They are a roller coaster ride.
You can't win half a game.
I don't know, man. With these new rules, there might be a half game.
There's a loophole. There's a loophole.
If Guru can do the loophole, damn it, why can't I do the loophole? So I'm doing it.
So like they're gonna win a 5-inning rainout.
I have no idea. Like literally with the Brewers, I have no idea.
What do you think, Kyle?
I'm gonna take the under. I will give it a number. I think it'll be 80 games. They are so up and down. They got rid of a lot of pieces over the offseason and didn't really gain a whole lot. What are they gonna do with Corbin? There's so many questions. Again, there's too many questions. I'm gonna take 80. I'm gonna take the under.
How do you? I'm still not over that. How do you alienate your ace over $750,000?
Dude,
You pay that.
Doesn't make any sense.
dude.
He's a $25 million pitcher, and you're arguing over less than $1 million when all he wants is just under 11. Like, come on.
Right.
That does not make sense. Cardinals, 88.5. I think they're going to be the division winners. 88.5 is kind of low for a division winner. I'm going to go with the over, but not by much. I'm going to go by like 92, 93. What do you think, Storms? As being your division, you got your first licks.
They're a 90-win team for me. They're obviously going to win the division, barring, major injury to someone like Arenado or Goldschmidt. I don't know. There's just not a team that holds a candle to them. I think they're going to beat up on the rest of the division, even though you don't get as many games in the division anymore. I think that's going to push them to 90, maybe a game or two above.
All right. Ty?
St. Louis Cardinals are who they are. Consistent, and regardless if we feel that they'll take a step back, I don't see any reason why they will this season. So I will take the over, slightly, not a lot. I'll give them a 95 at best.
Kyle?
I'm gonna give them the over, but I'm gonna give them 90 wins. I want to give them. I want to give them 89 wins, but I want to give them 90 wins, just because they are going to play. They're not playing as many games in the division anymore, but now they're going to have to play even better teams moving forward. So I'm going to give them the over, but maybe a game, maybe 2 games up.
So moving on to the AL Central, interesting division all the way around. Because we have some wildcard teams in here. We have some teams that haven't lived up to par in previous years, or last year, most importantly. We're talking about you, White Sox, fucking White Sox. And well, let's see what we have. And we have a young team here, Kansas City at 85.5. I'm going to throw both teams out there because, again, Vegas loves to do this type of weird shit. Kansas City and Detroit are at 68.5 games. Who do you think finishes last in division, and give me over under? Ty, I'll throw it to you first. What do you think, bro?
I'll show the Royals some royalty, some love. I'll take them with the over, and I'll give Detroit the under. But they were literally a game within each other last year. So, but yeah, I think Kansas City may, I think they can do a 70 this year. I think it's possible.
Storms?
Same. Over for Kansas City, under for Detroit. The Royals have a lot of young developing talent. I think it would be not out of the question to expect some overall progression from them. The Tigers are just, man, I feel so bad for AJ Hinch. He's a good manager, but the Tigers are a lost cause.
Yeah. Kyle?
I'm giving Kansas City the over and Detroit the under. Kansas City caught fire towards the end of last year, and I think they're going to carry some of that forward as they move into a lot of the young guys' sophomore year. Detroit, man, is just a train wreck that's on fire. Javi Baez did not look good at all last year. He's playing in a pitcher ballpark in an environment where he's hitting in the 3 spot where they expect him to be a 25 home run, 30 home run player that he's not. That's just one of the hardest places to play in baseball. It's so deep everywhere. And I just don't think that team is outfitted to win there, at least not right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with my guys. The Dish, we're usually not wrong about stuff like this. Kansas City, definitely the over. Detroit, definitely the under. Kansas City, I say, is going to win about 75 games, man. Detroit's going to win probably about 65. A lot of young, good talent in Kansas City. A lot of bad, old talent in Detroit. So, I don't. Baez definitely signed on the right team and disappeared. I haven't heard from him since. So, that's what I say. I'm going to pair these two next teams together as well because they're only really a game apart, and it's kind of weird that they did this, especially with the White Sox losing one of their best players in Abreu. The White Sox at 83.5 games, and Minnesota re-signing Correa and now signing MVP's caliber Joey Gallo, 84.5 games. 84.5 games. You guys give me over under who's gonna take second in the division in the Central. Is it Minnesota or the White Sox? Over under. Kyle, go ahead.
I'm going to take Minnesota coming second. I think Chicago's going to finish third. Chicago's got a lot of issues going on right now, a lot of legal issues with their pitching. That definitely doesn't help, especially when you need the pitching. Minnesota got better in the sense that they signed Correa for a longer term. They shipped out Reyes, but they got a good pitching in return, so that kind of helps out. But I think Minnesota. Oh, let me back up. Sorry, the White Sox will be under, and I think Minnesota is going to be just slightly over. And I think the game at the top between Cleveland is actually going to be a lot closer than what people think.
What'd you think, Storms?
I also have the White Sox under and the over on Minnesota. I think the Twins are going to win about 85, 86 games, and I think the White Sox are going to be just about 500. They have a bad defensive team, man. Benintendi's a great fielder, but I don't think he makes them that much better defensively overall. They lost their best bat. You don't know what you're going to get out of Robert. I think it's going on a year and a half now since I've said it's time. It's past time to start over. Blow this roster up. You keep 5 or 6 of your key young players and move on.
I think that's already begun with Abreu being gone. That has started. They're going to continue.
I thought that too, but then Abreu's the only guy they let go.
Yeah, but
then they went out and signed. They went out and signed Clevenger. Benintendi made it look like they're going to try and win again this year, but then that was all they did.
And that's why I'm saying I think it's part of the fire sale. I think this is going to be the year to where they blow it up. This is probably going to be the team that has that fire sale, and they're going to be under. I'm going to say like 75, somewhere around there. And Minnesota is definitely over. I see Minnesota pushing 90. Honestly, Minnesota can be a team that goes for the division, but we have Cleveland sitting on top, and Cleveland's a really good team. Getting to them, they're at 86.5, over under. What do you guys say? Ty, I'll throw it to you first.
Definitely White Sox get the under. Minnesota definitely get the over in this one. I just hope there's not any surprises like it was last year. I mean, we said it was one team's division to win, and look what happened. So with the division, not saying it will, but so that's easy there. And I won't step away from that. I'm in agreement.
Okay, cool. Let's throw it to Cleveland being at 86.5. Ty, I'll just throw right back to you. What do you think over under?
Guardians? Over. I don't think, last year was a fluke. I think they are a 90-win team for sure.
Yeah, it's hard not to win a division not winning over 90 games. They're gonna win over 90 games. I say the over. I would say probably 94, about that. Oh, sorry, not 94, 97, somewhere about that. They're gonna be pushing close to 100. They're a really good ball club. They showed it last year. Kyle, what do you got?
I'm gonna give them the over, and I'm gonna give them 92 wins. Cleveland's good. They got a lot of young guys. They got a lot of production out of the catcher position, and they were not expecting that last year. Stephen Kwan had a fantastic year last year.
Mhm.
Tons of young guys on there. Tristan McKenzie. I think he's gonna have a monster year this year. And then you still got Tito at the helm, and AL Manager of the Year last year with a bunch of young guys. Average age was like 26 years old. Like that, he's a very, very good skipper, and he's going to do really well with this team moving forward.
Yep. I know you're going to talk about the Storms, that signing that we talked about. Go ahead, give over under.
Yeah, man, I got the over. I also I'm with Kyle on the win total. I think they're going to be about 92, 93. The signing of Josh Bell was enormous and one of the most under the radar signings, I think, of the entire offseason. Him and Zunino, they added the pop that their lineup was lacking last year. I know it's hard to expect the exact same production you got out of first year guys like Kwan, but if guys like that can get close to producing the same numbers they did last year, the only thing that scares me about this team is the lack of depth in the rotation. Because after Bieber, McKenzie, Quantrill, they were honestly pretty bad in games that those guys didn't pitch last year. But if those guys can stay healthy, give them 25, 30 starts each, 92, 93 wins, over.
All right, I'm gonna keep it in the AL. On the AL, we're gonna go on to the AL East, and I'm gonna pair these last two teams together too because it's pretty interesting. They have Baltimore, a hot, young, up and coming team, prospects out the ass, great ball players already at 76.5, and they have Boston. I guess they're saying Sale is gonna have an outstanding year, maybe. Finishing fourth with 78.5 wins. I think that's why they give him two games over Baltimore. I'll throw it over to you, Kyle, since this is your division. What do you think is going to transpire here?
I'm going to say they're going to be pretty neck and neck. I'm going to give them both the even. I think they're both going to finish at around 80 games, both of them, both 500 teams. Baltimore has a lot of young guys, and they caught fire at the end of last year as well. But we'll see how Adley does at the end of, or going into this season in year two. The biggest thing with the Sox is they literally fired their entire bullpen last year and got an entirely new bullpen this year. I think that's going to play a huge role. Chris Sales is allegedly healthy. James Paxton is coming back. That helps out too. I think the pitching is going to be there. The offense, I think, might lack a little bit. They just got that Japanese kid. If you guys seen him play so far, he's been hitting the shit out of the ball. Mm-hmm. He hits the ball hard. They thought he was going to be a leadoff number 2 guy. He is not going to be a leadoff number 2 guy, but the way that he's hitting the ball in the major leagues. And then you got young guys like Tristan Casas coming up to play first base, and he is a big dude, young dude, and has a ton of plate discipline. He hits the ball for power, but he also walks a ton. So I think they're both going to finish at 800. And I think they're both going to finish with 80 wins. So I'm giving them both the over.
So who do you think finishes 4th and 5th? Put them in order.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to put Boston at 4th and Baltimore 5th just because I'm biased. Because honestly, I have nothing else to go off.
I got you. All right, Ty, what you got?
Best division in baseball. I could give everybody the over in this one. Honestly though, I'll give the under to the Red Sox. It's just I don't know. I just don't see what direction they're going in really. Sorry to say that, Kyle.
No, I agree with you.
Baltimore, shout out to my guy Joe. I'll give you guys, some love and say last year just wasn't a surprise, and you'll double down and do over.
What you got, Storms?
Yeah, give me the over for the O's. O's stands for over. I think the Orioles are going to come out and win. I think Vegas did them dirty, man. I think they're going to come out and win about 85 games. And I've got seriously under for the Red Sox. I think they're going to win around 70, and that's entirely dependent on. A big part of that is for that to not happen, you're going to need Chris Sale to give you 25 to 30 starts and be Chris Sale, and I just don't trust that that's possible at this point. I hope he proves me wrong, because we've watched him struggle to get back to performing at a top level for 3.5 years now.
Yeah.
So,
I'm in agreement with you, Storms, and I'm right around the same exact thing you said. Baltimore's definitely over. They did them dirty. I would say about 85 wins, and Boston definitely under. I would say probably about 72, 73. I definitely think Baltimore's going to finish 4th and Boston's going to finish 5th. They're depending a lot on Sale. And also, don't forget, they're depending a lot on one player who really didn't do much last year because he was hurt, JD Martinez. And he's been MIA. We know that when he's there and he's healthy, he can rake, but he hasn't been for about 1.5 years now. So
JD got traded.
Oh, you're right. Take that back.
But to your point though, you gave up 25 home run hitters with JD and Bogarts and replaced it with Justin Turner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're getting older. You know what I mean? Or you're making a lateral move. You're not really doing anything. And like Ty said earlier, I don't know what they're doing, what direction they're going in. So they're definitely going to finish last in the division, in my opinion. Now, the most interesting team here in this division for me with the over-under, the Rays. And I'm going to also pair them together with Toronto because they're only a game difference in the standings. The Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, as we call them, the Rays. Thank you, Storms, for that. At 89.5, and the Blue Jays at 90.5. I want you guys to give me over under, and I want you guys who's going to finish 2nd and 3rd. Storms, I'll kick it to you first.
With the over coming in 2nd for me is going to be Toronto. I think it still amazes me that they didn't make the playoffs, or that they didn't that they exited so fast. I think the Blue Jays are going to win somewhere between 93 and 98 games. So I guess we'll just call it 95. The Rays, they just feel like they've been very slowly trending backwards for the last couple of years. I just feel like they're going to take another small step back. Give me a slight under 86 games, somewhere around there.
Okay. Ty.
So I hate to do this to the Rays, but I actually have them potentially going 4th in this division. I could see it if Baltimore does what I think it's capable of doing. I give the Rays the under. And I give the Blue Jays the over. I think the Blue Jays are going to lick their wounds and, step up to the plate. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Jays has something to say about being the division winner when it's all said and done.
I think Tampa Bay is going to be under. I think they're going to win about 83 games. Tyler Glasnow is out 6 to 8 weeks with a grade 2 oblique injury on his pitching side, on his throwing side, which that usually never goes well, especially for a guy who throws what he throws. So with them being trending backwards, like Storm said, and their best guy being out, I don't see them winning 90 games. I don't see them winning 85 games. Toronto, I think, is the surprise here. I think Toronto is going to win the division. I think they're going to have more wins than the Yankees at the end of the season. We'll talk about the Yankees after, but I think Bichette figures it out in the field, or they move him, and because the way he was hitting at the end of last year was unreal. Vladdy Jr. is always poised for a strong season, and the rest of the talent out there, you get Springer and all those other guys. Their big question mark is their starting pitching. Now it's all going to depend on what they do. They do have one of the best catchers in baseball. So there's a lot that goes on with that. I think Toronto does well this year. I think they win the division.
Storms?
Toronto and Tampa? I already went.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I would say for me, it's like everybody's saying, man, under Tampa Bay. I would put them at 82. And Ty, good call. I say I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore goes for third and Tampa Bay ends at fourth. Toronto, I say over, probably about 93-ish, 94-ish. I still don't think they take over the division, though. I'm going to go into the Yankees. The Yankees being at 94.5. And we've been making fun of the Yankees for years, pitching, and they finally got it right. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Ty. Ty, what you got?
Big Junior's going to hate me, but I kind of want to say under slightly. I just feel after everything that you've done last season to come back, and keep that same energy and not feel deflated, it's going to be tough. So I think also just the AL East being the toughest division, that takes its toll too. And there's just too much talent in this league, for them to, still do what they did last year. All eyes are going to be on them. They're going to get every team's best. So slightly under.
What you got, pal?
I'm going to go the same way, slightly under. And the biggest thing, like we said, is pitching. Frankie Montas said he's going to miss the first month of the season due to having microscopic shoulder surgery on his throwing shoulder. I think that is going to be a lot harder. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to come back from what they think it's going to. I don't think Judge is going to have that crazy of a season as he did last year. And I think those are going to be their two biggest contributions to the team. Those two things that are happening. And then I think we'll see a slight dip with Stanton at the plate this year. I don't think he's going to be the money he has been at the plate.
What you guys want?
This is a tough one, man, because I feel like this is a team that's very capable of winning 100 games. But I also feel like there's going to be a few different things holding them back. You know, another thing for one, if you're going to win 100 games, I feel like you got to find a way to get Josh Donaldson the hell out of your lineup. I'm sorry, he's still a great defensive player, but he's a liability overall.
Mhm.
Man, I think I feel like this team has a floor of 90 and a ceiling of 100, 101. Give me the over, I guess, by a game or two.
I agree. Give me the over. Give me it by like 3 games. I don't think they reach 100 for the simple fact that what you said, Kyle. Judge isn't going to have that monster year. They are going to win the division. They are the best team in the division because of the pitching. They got Rodon, and they needed him to round out that division, that pitching staff. Now they have Cole, Nestor, him, Montas, and Germán. Even though Montas is going to miss some time, they're going to probably win 97 games. But then I don't think they reach 100 just because of the simple fact that Judge isn't going to have that monster year. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're at with the AL East. Now let's go to the NL East.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
Nestor Cortez also has a hamstring injury.
That can be a lingering injury for a pitcher as well. So we'll see how he reacts with that, especially with him having that funky delivery that he has. So we'll see.
I don't think
Which
he has
one?
that.
He has like 17 windups.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he has that with the pitch clock this year. I don't think it's going to allow it.
True. Good point.
Good point.
So I kept the NL East for the last. The NL East has 3 teams at the top that is in the top 10 favorite to win the World Series. One team, obviously, that the Philadelphia reached the World Series last year. But the bottom of the division is not all that strong, even though one team is going to surprise some people. But the Nationals at 59.5, this team is going to be absolutely abysmal this year. They're going to be horrible. This is going to be an easy under for me. I'd be really shocked if they win 55 games, honestly. Storms, I see you nodding your head. What do you say?
What's the all-time record for losses?
I got to look that up.
I don't even know.
I want to say it's like 117 or something like that. Give me decidedly under for the Nats. I think they're going to finish somewhere around 52, 53.
What do you say, Ty?
I'm gonna say the Nationals are gonna be like in baseball purgatory, along with the Rockies, but worse. Give me the under.
They're going to be fighting with Oakland for the highest or lowest win total.
But they'll have great draft odds, though.
Yes, they will.
So the Cleveland Spiders in 1899, 134 losses.
The Mets aren't too far away, just so you know.
What you got, Kyle?
I think Washington's going to be under. I don't. Who is there? Strasburg? Is that it? I don't know who else is there.
Him and Josiah Gray. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, give me the under. I'm going to say 57 wins. That's generous.
All right.
Don't forget about superstar Joey Meneses.
Don't forget about him. The Florida, Miami Marlins, 75.5. This is a tough one for me. we've talked about the Marlins in extent. They can be a surprising team. For me, in this division, being that now the scheduling is you're going to play everybody. You're not going to play the division as much. I think that's going to benefit them. So I'm going to say the over. I'm going to say about 78, 9 about that. I think they're going to hit over. Well, I see you shaking your head, Storms. What do you say?
Yeah, man, you're low.
Huh?
You're
You
low.
think
They're
high-
gonna be
you
over
think higher?
500.
You think
yeah.
so? All
Yep.
right.
I mean, so Skip Schumacher, their new manager, was saying, and I totally agree with them, man. What a dream situation for a manager to come into, where it is so hard to find a great center fielder in this league, and to come into a situation where the best player on your team and one of the most athletic players in the league volunteers to go out and play center field, and says, I'm not only am I going to do it, I'm going to win you a Gold Glove. Like that's a very privileged position for a rookie manager to be in. And it solves a problem, because they're not going to have 4 second basemen in the infield now. But man, and even though they got rid of Pablo Lopez, that's still a fantastic young rotation, and they brought in the veteran leader that they needed too, with Cueto. So yeah, like you said, I think this team's going to surprise a lot of people. I think they're going to win 82, 83 games.
What do you got to say, Ty?
I'll say if the surprise is going to happen, it's going to come from Edward Cabrera. What does this guy have in the majors for a full season? And I want to find out, because this rotation has a potential to blow some people away. Confidently, I will give it over.
All right, Kyle.
I'm giving them the over too. Their pitching's too good with Alcantara. A lot of young guys. You got Jazz coming back from injury. Again, he's playing center field. They picked up Arraez in a trade, who was the AL batting champion last year. He's going to play second base. There's a lot of good things going for Miami this year. I feel they're going to be 83 wins this year.
All right. We all got the over, and we all know why. Pitching. Now, let's move on to the Philadelphia Phillies, a team that lost the World Series. They have them finishing in third place at 89.5 games. Over under for me is, I would say, over. I think they're going to be a 91 team. I think they're probably going to win around 91 games. They added Trey Turner, best shortstop in baseball as of right now. So, that's a huge add for them with the roster that they had. And I think 91 would be about right. What do you say, Storms?
So I think that the new schedule is going to provide an opportunity for us to see something that I don't know if it's ever happened before. But to go ahead and spoil my last 2 picks, I think we're going to end up with 300 win teams in one division.
Wow.
Good call.
And it's not the AL East. It's the NL East. Something's going on in the East Coast, man. Something's in the water.
It's the water. It's the water.
Hey, man. Here in Eastern Ohio, that's a sensitive subject.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'll send you a 12-pack. Sorry.
That'll make it all better.
I can send you some water from Flint. I don't know if that'll help.
What do you got to say, Kyle?
I'm with Storms. I think we're going to see our first 100 win team in the AL East. Philly got better. Harper will come back from his injury. I think he'll be just as strong, just as rested. As long as they don't rush him, they don't need to rush him back into this situation. Take your time, get better, get healthy, get better, and then press forward. And then Trey Turner obviously was the biggest pickup for this team. But they have a lot of talent on this team. So I give them 100 wins.
All right, since both of you, well, Ty, go ahead and speak what you got over under and about.
I'll give high 90s over. I don't know about the 100 just yet. Only because I sing Turner come back. You can blame it all on me. I miss him. But I know it's not gonna happen. So yeah. Sad panda face.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this today. Braves and Mets. They're only 2 games separated, with the Braves at 96.5 and the Mets at 94.5. For me, easy over. Both 100-win teams. Where they're gonna finish first and second, I'm not gonna get into that yet. We're gonna do a show to where we release the standings and what we think is gonna be the division winners. But both easy overs. 101 teams easy. Just look at the rosters. Look at what the Braves have done past years, and look what the Mets have done. What they did last year. Unfortunately, lost the division to the Braves at the end of the year by a game. It is what it is. But I think both easy 101 teams, especially the Mets adding Verlander at certain, that top of the rotation with Senga as well. It's just an amazing rotation they can possibly have if they stay healthy. Storms, what do you got? Oh, you said over already.
Yeah, Mets and Braves both over 100. Yeah, adding Verlander, like, there's a lot of people saying, well, does that really make you better? Well, I mean, yeah, it does, because that's not saying that Verlander's a better pitcher than DeGrom when they're both out there, because I don't think that's true. I think DeGrom's just a little bit better than Verlander when they're both available. But Verlander has a history of being available a lot more often.
That's the key. Yep. What you got, Kyle? I saw you pointing your finger.
I was saying the key thing there is availability. Verlander is more available, and he has pitched in a lot of big games and won all of those big games. That was a huge pickup for the Mets. Even though losing DeGrom hurts, it's getting Verlander is the next best thing.
Ty.
Simply said, for the NL East, unlike other divisions, you have to win 100 games to win this division. Is it possible we could get 3? Yes, but we're definitely going to have 2 teams who are going to be over 100 over for the both. Too much talent in this division. I hate it, because a few seasons ago I was saying it was the NL East. Maybe I spoke this into existence, and this is karma coming back to haunt me.
No, that was getting bounced out of the playoffs by the Padres.
So we just blew up the Vegas odds. Use this as your key, on the map where you see the little key for what you want to do your bet. Exactly. I was just about to do that. Get your money. Go ahead and bet the over-unders. We just gave you a little key that you can use so you can win some money over there, whether it's an app that you use, FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever it is. Just go ahead, bet your over-unders with us. Dish will get you right.
We take tips, by the way. I'm kidding.
We'll put our cash up in the bottom.
Hey, times are tough, man. We need it.
Guys, been a pretty lengthy show, but we had to get through the odds, and we wanted to make sure that people knew where we thought these teams would stand. Closing thoughts. Go ahead, Ty. I'll throw it over to you first, man. What you got to say about baseball? And we'll almost get into the season, man.
Just get excited. Get very excited. I think this is going to be a crazy season. Surprises all around. Wild cards all around. You're not going to be able to accurately predict every moment. So just be ready for the ride and just enjoy it. I think that's what we're going to get.
All right, Kyle. Everybody saw that B on your shirt from Boston. Get a little bigger when you didn't say the Yankees win the division. You picking Toronto. What do you got to say, bro?
There's gonna be I think there's gonna be a lot of surprises in this season. With how the shift change and the pitching rules. Just we got to be open. We got to be a little bit more open-minded to it. We as fans, I know we're like the old heads. We love the old way of playing baseball, but maybe this opens up something else to where maybe we start to see more small ball again, because now people have to think on their toes and they're just gonna be like, oh, I'm laying down a bunt. I don't give a fuck. So maybe we start to see more of that. I don't know. But it's going to be an interesting season. I can't wait. Ty, I wish I was down there for the World Baseball Classic to hang out with y'all. Fortunately, we just couldn't make it work this year. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're not that far away from you. I'm going to see you at some point. But yeah, that's all I got.
Category. Your intros are legendary. Your outros are more informational. What you got for us today?
Not a lot, man. I'm just I'm ready for the season to start, because I'm sick of there being baseball, but it being over by the time I get home. So
yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to have a chance to sit down and watch some on a weekday. So yeah, man, and I'm so excited for the WBC. I can't wait for that.
We should do a live. We should do a watch along.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a watch along, definitely, with WBC for sure. So everybody watching, if you guys have been living under a rock, you guys haven't seen our show, whoever's commenting in the section or was commenting in the section isn't part of the group, The Dish on Facebook. Join us. We get conversation going, do post daily. We like to argue about a particular list that you make. If we make our list, make your own damn list if you don't like it. Secondly, just come have fun, talk baseball. Baseball's about to start. Light up the grill, get you a hamburger, burger, drink you a beer, watch some baseball. Opening day is right around the corner. That too. Whatever.
Eat some hot dogs. We got a large quota.
Yeah.
we got a big number that storms through out there that we have to catch up to, 130 million. So eat some hot dogs. But anyway, this has been the show. We're gonna bring you another show next week. We're gonna get some good topics. Like I said, if you're in the group, go ahead and throw some topics you want us to talk about, and we'll see y'all next week.